Keen, 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 keen.
Keen.
Was that enough? Are we our own hype men? Hello, everybody.
Yes.
It's us. We're here. It's SciFiAIguy Players. We are playing Commander Keen, number 4, episode number 4. I think is the. I don't think it's actually the 4th game. It's like the 4th episode in the series. In the second game, it doesn't matter. We're playing Commander Keen. It's me. It's Justin. Justin, how are you today?
I am splendid, thank you, Ryan. I am having a lovely day. I went outside and I saw the sun.
Amazing.
I did some shopping. It was great. It was a great time for me and for the world to experience me.
Yeah, I'd believe it. I hear you've been podcasting again.
I am indeed. Yes, I put out the first returning episode, the first episode of the second season of Radio Lockdown on, I think, Saturday morning. Yep. Time is an illusion. Yes, it was a long edit, as they all have been. I was saying to you before we went on air that we recorded for, I think, nearly 3 hours, and I condensed it down to 1 hour and 15 minutes of podcast for your returning episode. And then I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to record for that long on Sunday. And then we recorded for another 2.5 hours. So,
but of course,
it's been a fun time.
But of course,
because I like to make my job hard for myself.
Yeah,
we have some good stuff coming this week, though. It's been very good. And how are you?
I'm not too bad, actually. I don't know. I mean, you're probably watching. You would be watching, I presume, the Twitch stream, muted as it is.
I am. Indeed.
You would see that the time has come for breezy shirts. I'm on island time. And in fact, to hearken to that, I'm gonna engage in a bit of Foley, bit of Pasito.
Oh, spectacular!
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I love that you have dressed to match your drink. That is the real accessory situation you've got going on there. That is fantastic.
Well, I too had to go outside today, just sort of a part of one of my many medical checkups. Nothing serious, just, the usual palaver. And I was like, you know what, I'm going outside today, and I'm streaming tonight, and I want to find out if it was worthwhile buying a shirt in this light, breezy, smooth, delicious fabric. And it's been pretty good. I wouldn't say it's been like, I mean, it wasn't disgustingly hot today, but,
No, but hotter than I expected. When I committed to going out and buying things for our household. Yes, a terrible shame. Yeah, with all the adjectives you picked for the shirt leading into it, I didn't figure it was going to be a bad experience that you had with all of the amazing, smooth, wonderful, wondrous other things. You've got all the adjectives. Why do I need to supply them?
Well, yeah. I think together we've probably supplied what I would say is too many, and that's fine. That's kind of that's normal for us, I would say. That's within the bounds of acceptable excess that is conversations betwixt me and Justin. I think it's time that we kick over to the game. So, as discussed last week, which many of you were present for, and if you weren't, it's on YouTube. You might have even just watched it in the playlist. We played Commander Keen. Keen Must Die. No, yes, Keen Must Die, I think. Is that the name of Invasion of the Vorticon? There's a name for those first 3 episodes. I forget what it is. It doesn't really matter because basically it's parts 1, 2, and 3 of a continued narrative wherein Commander Keen encounters aliens on Mars, I think, who just nick a few things from his ship. And then, so he kills a lot of them. And then the aliens are mad at Keen, so they try to go to where he lives and fuck with him, so he blows up their ship. And then he goes to their homeworld, and I think war crimes is the end game for Commander Keen in that story.
Yeah, so the storyline is called Invasion of the Vorticons, and it consisted of marooned on Mars, the Earth explodes, and Keen must die, with the aforementioned synopsis that you provided us. I have the ability to Google things because we are socially distanced. The advantages of being far apart.
It's true. But yeah, war crimes, basically. Basically war crimes.
Basically,
I mean,
actually, just like invading family homes in like domestic areas, not attacking military installations or anything
No,
like that.
no.
Just going into people's homes,
Literally
stealing
the
their
suburbs.
snacks,
Actually the fucking suburbs.
and murdering Yowies. I think we decided.
Yeah, like you didn't have to kill the Yowie children, but often if you didn't, the Yowie children would sort of push you into being killed. Like they weren't murderers, but they were complicit, and thus it was basically fine in the game for you to shoot them. No consequence for that, except the loss of ammunition, I suppose.
Yeah, and that is, that's one of the main problems.
We have some scrolling text here, Justin. When it turns up on your screen, if you could give us a substantially delayed read through of its content, that would be great
4.
TV.
Secret of the Oracle. After delivering a crippling blow to the plans of Mortimer McMire and receiving the praise of the Bordercon race, Commander Keen returned to his home in the suburbs. Here, he was forced to go to bed at an early hour and to eat mashed potatoes.
Which are great.
Months later, Billy tinkered around with his latest invention, the photachyon transceiver, or faster-than-light radio. After picking up a lot of bad alien sitcoms, he stumbled upon a strange message of terrible importance.
So I don't know what that message is. I've played this game as a child, and that doesn't mean I actually know terribly much about it. So there's a few things I want to...
You don't remember the photachyon transceiver?
No, I don't remember...
That's not...
Justin, I don't remember this game having a point.
Game you remember?
We played... I think, as I have discussed with my older brother, these were demos. So we didn't even have all of 4 and 5, I think. I think we had bits and pieces. So the idea that this is called Secret of the Oracle is marvelous, because I don't remember ever meeting a fucking oracle. I remember tooling around on my pogo stick and shooting slugs, which, to be fair, when you kill aliens in this game, they don't explode into slag. They kind of just go to sleep. You know, it could be a stun weapon.
Important. It does look like phasers to stun.
Yeah.
And you were... The other thing that was the key difference between this and the previous games, apart from the animation style just really, taking off, is the ability to shoot vertically. Which was something that you, seriously objected to in the prequel trilogy to this the main game, the true Commander Keen. The most keen. Most commander. I'm
gonna
just
tinkering around in these. I'm just gonna leave all of these because that all sounds fine. Options. There's a score box. We'll leave that on. I'm okay being shamed online. 2-button firing off. Oh my god. I guess before.
Sure.
I guess there's an option where you have to hold down 2 buttons to fire. I think that was what you had to do in the previous game, and it was hell. It was hell.
Fix jerky motion. I don't want to fix the motion of jerky.
No.
At all.
I need it to continue moving towards me, into my body. And SVGA compatibility, Super VGA, Justin. That's off, and
VGA.
That's probably fine.
Compatibility with the video game authority.
Okay, so up and left is home? Wait, up is up and right. Okay, so...
this is a number pad setup.
Yeah,
This is
this is
your numpad. Home being 7, up being 8.
Oh,
right
of course.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's novel. I might remap those to, I guess, WASD?
Yeah, so it's actually a 9-key grid movement thing. So up and left being like diagonally.
I mean,
northwest, if you can imagine that.
So if I turn off numlock and give that a go, I mean, it might not be the worst thing in the world. Buttons, jump is control, pogo is alt, fire is space. So jump, control, alt, fire.
Control, alt, space. No. Oh, and this would have been before keyboards tended to have keys between control and alt, right? Because it would have just been control, alt, space with your 3 keys on the left of your keyboard. You wouldn't have like a Windows key or a function key or whatever.
Yeah, It's been a long time since I've seen anybody bother, but I remember seeing at LAN parties especially, people would leave it out their Windows keys with a screwdriver. Just absolutely popped that fucker out of the way.
Well, you do not want that coming up in the middle of a game.
God, no. I mean, these days, pressing control and alt in a game anyway. I mean, I guess control is probably crouch in some games still.
I I would tend to see those same controls if you were going to do them horizontally. Would just be ZXC or ZX space instead of
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ugh, no, that I shiver. I shiver at the thought. Okay, I'm gonna play this game on its own terms, and I'm gonna hate it, and then I'm just gonna remap everything.
Fantastic.
So return to so
Good Ramboy saying they were just thinking they wanted mashed potato for dinner. So it's good. We've got a thematic consistency.
Commander Keen got to eat mashed potatoes. Commander Keen was lauded for his actions after, I guess, he killed that kid. I don't know what he did to the other nerd, right? The alpha nerd that shamed him.
Yeah. That was the end of the third one, right?
Yeah, we never got to it because who the fuck wants to do that? But yeah, basically the entire Vorticon race was being manipulated by the slightly smarter kid who had a slightly higher, and I mean higher by like 1 or 2 integers IQ. And so he was your greatest enemy.
Well, yeah, I mean, because intelligence is a number.
And they're both 8, so, you know, these things matter, I guess. I was like, time to play the game, and my hand went to the mouse, and then I had to pull it away from the mouse with palpable sadness. All right, let's see how this goes.
Fantastic.
New game. Easy, normal, or hard? Well, we gotta just probably go normal.
Let's go. I mean, aren't we hardcore? Aren't we hardcore gamers?
We're absolutely not. I'm gonna go easy because, as we chatted about before we went live, I threw lives away when we were playing Commander's Keen 1, 2, and 3 because I knew that we were just sort of whipping through them. And I like this game more, so I would actually like to give it a slightly more real chance, if possible. We'll see how it goes. This might just be doomed, but if I set it to easy, I might get more lives. That might be the line, right?
I mean, this game is the stream tonight, right? We're not playing through a series of games. We're just playing through this one.
So there's also 5 that I can bring up in the...
Interesting. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
With timing and how we're liking this.
How we're faring, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's try easy.
We're professionals. We've talked through all of this beforehand. I'm just doing this for the audience as audience surrogate.
Keen enters the Shadowlands. So, you know how I received an important message? I don't know what that message is, Justin.
You received an important message? The transceiver, the Aki, whatever it was. Keen launches with the bean with bacon mega rocket. Excellent.
That's right. So, I'm at the edge of the screen, which means I'm back in the Shadowlands. Okay, so I could return to my ship. So I have like 4 shots in my gun. The ammo in these, this is the thing as well. Like, I don't remember the ammo being hell, but it's clearly hell. Like having to manage how many shots you've got. It's like a survival game.
This is Dark Souls, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Dark Souls of platformers.
This is a Soulsborne platformer.
So, okay.
Keen makes a run for the border village. Well, we know how to play this whole scene because we've seen it in the demo.
Yeah, this is where it gets shameful because I'm gonna be bad. Oh, that's right. So we're not going for... I mean, I'm gonna get a little bit of score. Perhaps when we're vamping, I'll be like, you know, let's talk about the game, and then I'll try and get all these drops that I don't need. Is
it like Mario where when you get a certain number of points, it gives you another life?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Okay. Because that's the thing in Mario, right? Where you collect a certain number of coins and then it and upticks your counter. Like if you get 100 coins.
I think it depends on the Mario. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So that's bad poo. I shouldn't step on the poo.
Okay, gotcha.
I should actually. I'm pretty sure that if I go down this one. Oh, that's going to be tricky, actually.
Is it a down arrow, or is it a...
It is, but I was pressing 5, and what I should have been pressing was 2, right?
It was 2. Yeah, because you were pressing the key that does nothing. The one key in the array that does nothing. The center of the...
hang on, I need to... So, some of these... Alright. There are secret passages. Oh, hello. This is going to cost me. Is this worth it?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I need to have asked.
Definitely worth it.
So I can stand on the lip of this. Yep. And then I just... Yeah, that's fine. yeah, as I mentioned last week, the skill tester in this game is how fun the pogo stick is and how often you doom yourself in what should be a perfectly acceptable movement.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to bounce through this, and then the, see, oh wow, see, that actually allows me to skip the entire level if I want. I don't want that.
Interesting.
I think
so that's the exit level?
Yeah, so as you might have noticed on the world map, there was a gate that we were stuck at. So this is a village on the border village, as it said. Yeah, the non-violent option is actually way better. I don't need to kill these slugs at all.
Yeah, let's try a pacifist run of Commander Keen.
Wait, is this the entire... Oh, it's just a little... It's just this little level. It's little and discreet.
Okay, that makes sense. It's teaching you the initial controls.
Yeah. Yeah, you can bounce on those red dudes. Like, if you bounce on a bouncing red ball with your pogo stick. The joys. The joys you can have. Wait, I have 20 shots? Oh, easy
you must
mode.
have collected them. Oh, was that the... You only had 4 before, so you must have... Were those the balls that you collected?
Those were the little...
They...
I picked up 2 pistols in one of these little shacks.
Oh.
So that
must have... Does that mean each one of them was...
8 shots.
How many would that make? 8 shots, yeah.
That's easy mode, baby. Well, that's fine. As I mentioned before, I'm on island time.
We have an update from Good Round Boy that potatoes are on the path towards mashing.
Excellent.
And we have a flag.
Amazing.
You have a flag.
I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to save the game.
Fantastic. I love it. What is our save file?
You'll see. You're on.
We have a flag. Excellent.
All right.
Of it. And then what's the other thing you're doing?
I keep pressing 5 as down. So I'm going to just change down to 5.
Okay, I like that.
Nope. Alright, let's see if that works. Because my hand already wants to do it. Nope. Whoa. Escaped it back out. Returned again. I was looking for continue and my eyes kept getting stuck on configure. And if I do this, hey! You know what? Okay.
Oh, good.
Alright, now my hand is doing the thing it wants to do. So we can head down yonder. There's no...
Okay, so those are the bases of flags.
Yes.
So that indicates what we've completed and haven't completed. I can't swim, he says. Oh, no.
The colonialism continues.
Yes. Yeah,
so
he really staking a claim over here.
We need to pick up the gear that allows us to swim in this pond, which allows us to explore these islands. So that tracks. So we have here another...
This is a Metroidvania spawn.
Yeah, exactly. My hand has learned too late that it should be... I've retrained it for 5, but it keeps going for 2. This is a problem. Anyway, Justin, should we...
Oh, so now it is going for 2.
Yeah, it's alright. I'll just do this
you
a bunch.
habituated yourself again.
Where do you want to go, Justin? Do you want to check out this beehive? Which is to say...
It does look like a beehive. Is it actually a beehive, or is that...
Justin, my mind is blown. I have only just now, at the tender age of 35, realized what this picture is. It's a hole.
What is this picture?
It's a hole. That's a pit.
How... Where is the pit? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing a pit.
The thing that looks like a beehive?
Yeah. Oh, it's like a depression in the earth.
Yep.
That's very weirdly... Because I absolutely went beehive as well, but I was like, why would that be a beehive? It's so much larger that... Wow, okay. Yeah, mind blown.
Yeah, Ellen Lee in the chat. It
rolls off the tongue.
It's all a pit. What's fucking ridiculous is I know it's a pit because I go in the level and it's a goddamn pit. And yet somehow...
But it doesn't...
Growing up, I was like, oh, the level's a pit and the picture's a beehive. And that I could hold...
Let's go into the beehive, which leads to the pit, yeah.
I could hold those 2 dissonant thoughts in my head. That's fucking ridiculous. Or we go to this other border village. Pit. You want the beehive?
I reckon... Let's go into the bee pit, because we've you know, we've hyped it up enough.
It's even called the perilous pit, Jesus.
Perilous beehive.
I was not a smart boy.
Plummets into the perilous pit. Did you see that?
Oh, God, really? That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, well,
You
hey.
better leave and go back in again because I mean that was quite something.
This is where the level really starts because now you're dealing with this shit, right? You're like, oh, I have to jump into nothing. Oh, there's platforms everywhere. Oh, I don't know what I'm jumping up to on my goddamn.
We are in the future. Look at those boxes. They look so digital.
Justin, you're too young. These are VCRs.
Those aren't VCRs. A VCR doesn't look like that.
They are.
It doesn't have a fucking purple.
Your VCR didn't float back and forth on a pre-programmed path.
My
throughout your
VCR
living room.
didn't have a fucking rocket on the side of it on both sides. That looks like a VCR. If a VCR, it looks like a VCR sort of alarm clocky sort of thing. It's not really. I grew up with VCRs, not because it was my era, but because we couldn't afford better technology.
Yeah.
So I know what a VCR looks like, and it doesn't look like that. I'm sorry, I should be making more concessions to your childhood.
Oh, look, Justin.
I must instead assert mine.
Let's agree to disagree, which, as we all know, is the very polite way of saying you're wrong, and I'm willing to deal with that. Okay, so
saying that my VCR sounds like it sucked. Wow.
So
wait till you see the mushroom on the left. Mine looked nothing like that.
I think mantling is possible in this game. I'm trying to recreate it. But I'm too good. I keep boom, I did it. Mantling is possible. This is how next level this game is.
Fantastic. Look at that.
Also,
the
astute among you may have noticed that when I jumped over to this wall, there was a little... Yeah. I ran into it.
Yeah, secret passage. Oh, you got 2,000 points.
So, I was chatting about this with Crafty, I think last night. We were watching streamers play a horror game. And they're running around a haunted-ass hospital, and it's poorly lit, because why wouldn't it be? Do we need this gem? Because I think this is an invincible mushroom. I think we just have to...
It's just a timing puzzle? Can we shoot it?
It will not kill it, if I recall.
Okay.
Because fungi are immune to ammunition, as we all know.
What did that gem actually do? It didn't give us any points.
Oh, didn't it?
Life or anything.
Maybe it's for a gate.
In which case, very good that we've collected it.
There's almost certainly a secret passage here. Yep, because there's some ammunition. Okay, cool. My whole childhood is coming back to haunt me. All right, let's go this way.
This is not a haunting. This is a... I mean, it's just paying dividends, really.
That's true. Oh, okay, so here's a blue one. See, as a kid, I don't know what these meant. Because they probably relate to...
Did that just jump on you and then nothing happened?
This dude is my hero. He is...
He just like bounced on you and then nothing...
This is vibing, Justin. This is vibing.
Oh, this is just a companion now.
Yeah.
What? This is a pet. This isn't actually an enemy. This is just a friend you've made along the way.
Well, I took all his food and his gem, and I'm going to leave him here to starve. Cool. We did it.
Please help me. I'm trapped forever.
Oh!
Is what he's attempting to say.
Look. There's a cute little... Oh, I forgot. The look down mechanic. But yeah, there's a little slumbering snail in its burrow.
Is that a snail? It looks like a... It looks like a reindeer crossed with a bullfrog.
It's the same species as the yellow snail thingies. Oh my god, it's... Yes, it's old school fucking video games. You need the blue key for the blue door. Hell yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Also, there's no excuse for me not looking down and up more. Okay, no, we're at the bottom of the map. That's fine.
Hey, it's another sleeping thing. Yeah. I maintain that's not... You know what that looks like? It looks like a worm from the video game Worms.
Oh. Justin. I think that might have to be something that we do. At some future point.
Play a bit of Worms?
Play a bit of Worms. If we can do that remotely, we need never worry again about your COVIDs and your 19s.
I mean, I would love to... Yeah.
There we go.
I big Worms fan over here.
Nope, don't.
Yeah, never got a hang of the like Worms 3D, like the later games. But
neither.
Oh man. Yeah, no, Big Worm's household.
Sick. I could have just done that. It's damn full.
Oh, so you've got a... Oh, okay.
Yes. Well,
harder than I thought it was.
I don't know what the blue key is for. Presumably we've got to go back up through all this middle stuff. But I flicked the switch near the blue mushroom, which, crucial, Justin. Crucial to our plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our plans are
they're cooking. So
our plans are cooking, much
before,
like the mashed potatoes.
Before we began this stream, you started something resembling a tirade, and I recommended that you stow it for situations such as this.
Where you're just playing the game and enjoying yourself?
Yeah, where I'm just trying to literally find the next thing that's interactable and interesting and failing a bunch. I
mean, which of the many rants I started on? Because I actually started on a few of them.
Justin, if you've got 1,000 words to spare on the topic of science and politics, I'd love to hear them.
Oh, yes.
No more than 1,000, mind.
I got my I got my marks back for my final science communication subject today, and generally I'm really happy with the course. I'm really happy with the quality of education I've got. It's been a fantastic degree. I've learned a lot. It's been fantastic. That said, this final assessment for science politics was I had to write 1,000 words on what is the relationship between science and politics, which is a pretty broad subject to write 1,000 words on. I think you'll agree.
Well, I just realized, like, that's not even... It's not scoped to a time frame or a region or an area of culture. It's just all science and all politics and how they... And ever the two shall meet.
Yeah, and the point of it was also to be a reflective essay. So throughout the course, we've been talking about how you use evidence in critical arguments and those sorts of things. I might interrupt this discussion because we appear to be about to meet Merlin.
Indeed, I was going to let you finish your point, but no, let's get this Merlin out of the way because I think he gives us dialogue.
There'll be other dull points. Let's chat to Merlin.
Yeah.
What does Merlin have to say? Oh, thank you so much for rescuing me. Sorry, should I do I'll do a Merlin voice.
Yeah, how old and how decrepit can you crank that?
Oh, thank you so much for rescuing me. I'll return to the Oracle Chamber immediately. How's that?
Smash cut to Keen shooting him in the stomach. Incredible. Fucking incredible. I love it.
Sweet release of death.
No sweat, O Guardian of Wisdom.
No sweat. Like, I really imagine a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle voicing Commander Keen.
Oh wow, that's how we leave the level. Okay, cool, we did it.
Wow, that's the level, guys. We entered the Shadowlands.
Oh,
sick.
Crafty, we'll return to your point. You finish your point, and then I will return to my previous point about what I was talking about with Crafty. Chat keeping us honest, talking about light levels in video games.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this is partially the problem that was raised with the assignment that I handed in, which was
oh yeah, bring it all together, Justin.
You
have to. The two have to be the one topic.
Yeah.
1,000 words.
Which was that I did too much like signposting of like, well, I'm going to talk about this, but first I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah.
And that was apparently too much for them. But anyway, I'm not just gonna have the conversation by being salty about my about grades or whatever, about feedback on my writing.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is that it's a very difficult thing to talk about because there are a lot of big, concerns in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, as I was saying, that we've been taught throughout the course is proving things with argumentation, but also with finding references and reading through literature and building an argument based on what you've read, not just what you reckon.
Yeah.
And yet this was supposed to be a reflective essay, so you're really talking from your own opinions, which is counter to the entire, point of the stuff. So it was really trying to have the best of both worlds in every single respect.
Yeah.
It was like, talk from your experience and also use evidence to make your argument. Talk about this incredibly complicated thing, but do it in 1,000 words, and make sure that you talk about. And that was the thing. The other thing was, it wasn't just what is the relationship, it was also what should the relationship be.
Oh God.
So it was actually 1,000 words to address those two questions.
That's malarkey. That's horse apples.
I think I did a decent job. I basically talked about how, to summarize the points that I made, I essentially just said that the idea that we are post-truth is actually a much older idea than the internet age, and it refers to a diminishing of authority that we can place in the media, and the solution to that is to have more reliable media. And part of the deconstruction of media hegemony is having countercultural production, diversity of voices, and it can actually be quite good for science if we embrace it actively rather than just getting depressed about everything being post-truth. And we actually choose to have, new media like Twitch streaming, where we talk about ideas and we, at the risk of just, saying what we're doing here is great, the new media has so many opportunities to it, and I feel like it's really defeatist to just say, well, we're post-truth. The notion of truth no longer has bearing on our society. Like, that is such a it's such a ridiculous position.
It's painfully reductive.
Yeah. And that was the thing that I did find research on, is that a lot of people basically that are actually looking at how much do people base their opinions on the facts of the matter has not really changed. There's always been a critical mass of people that will just listen to their opinions, and there's always been people that will kind of delay what they are thinking and wait for experts to tell them what to think. It's just that those experts have changed, and it's harder to establish authority in the same ways we used to. Anyway, I have lots and lots of thoughts on this, clearly more than 1,000 words. I may have even said more than 1,000 words already on this stream about it. How about we talk about use of light in horror games?
Yeah. So
we can come back to post-truth at some point, but
I'm sure we will. It appears. Oh, it glitched a bit. I could see myself in the tunnel. Amazing. So me walking through this secret passage right now is actually great. You've wrapped it up at the perfect time. I can't see where my character is. I have to kind of infer from context. So.
Well, it's the screen is moving around your character, so if you can remember where on your screen, like, is it just the center of the bottom of the screen that you're on?
Not. There's a little bit of lag to it, right? So.
Okay.
You can see there's this little bit of wiggle here in the middle. So imagine that
Interesting. So when you're
Imagine that you're in a haunted hospital, and the lights are playing tricks on you, but then the lights go out. Now, if you're a person in that hospital, you still have proprioception. You still have a physical memory of the space. You still have the sense of touch. You have a lot of senses you can bring to bear in that situation. In a video game, if they turn the lights out and you move around, you're fucked. Your goose is cooked, right? Because you don't know where you are. You don't know what you're doing. And I just find that interesting. It's something that... I don't know if it's something I necessarily want us to solve in the video game space. Like, I think an AR experience is probably the closest, right? Where you are in, like, functionally a haunted house, but then they slap some goggles on you, so maybe it could be a little bit video gamey while also being a physical space that you navigate.
Yeah, I mean, like, I suppose you could only really do that with augmented reality, maybe? Like, if you really... If the point of it is that it is still a game based around video, the video component... I mean, at what point is that really... Like, you could do that sort of thing in a haunted house, but I think that making... If the sense that is being deprived is visual, I'm not sure to what extent it being a video game is particularly helping it at a certain point. Because the visual component is gone. That's the one common element to video games. I mean, I don't know. I'm being a bit reductive, but...
I don't think it's it's not a problem that we need to solve. It's just something that I like thinking about, right? Those sort of interesting disparities and the ways that you have to get around that. So in this haunted hospital, lights would sort of go out, but by and large, there would always be something you could orient yourself with, right? It wouldn't completely screw you because it couldn't. It's not allowed to, right? That's actually something horrifying that the game can't hand you without throwing the entire thing in the trash. I think I've aced this entire level. I think we can just go. Also, I've gotten like 40,000 points, and I've gained several lives as a result of that. So your estimation of points being equivalent to lives is good. We might actually just play a bunch of this straight while we hang out and talk about post-truth, because we're fucking nerds. Jesus.
I mean, let's save the game though. Excuse me. And I'll sneeze on stream for that. Yeah. For the benefit of our listeners.
Well, you turned away from the mic, you know. It had a depth to it.
I have good mic etiquette.
It sounded like you were doing a sonar reading of the shape and depth of your own room.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people that can analyze the audio, and now they know exactly how big the space is I'm recording in.
Yeah.
My elevation above sea level.
Yep.
The rough dimensions of my space.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, we have a lot of choices now. So, directly north, we have a sort of frozen... It looks like a dessert, but a dessert that's already sort of mostly collapsed in on itself. Right?
Yeah. There's some ice magic going on.
Yeah, fucking ice magic. We never had the... We might have tried the proper brand, but then I think Mum was like, no, it's not worth it. And then we just bought like the really cheap stuff. And it was basically just a sweet syrup on an existing sweet food. Like, I didn't need there to be magic. It was nice. It was tasty.
So at one point, I have an ice magic story.
Oh.
I don't know how much of a story it is, because I'm literally just remembering that this thing happened as I mentioned ice magic. I remembered that this story existed.
Yeah.
In primary school, we had an assignment where we had to basically make something out of food.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people did the classic, like you stick dried pasta on a to a card or something, and you make a shape out of it. Right?
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to do something a bit more complex. I decided that I wanted to make essentially a gingerbread house, but the problem was that we didn't have any gingerbread in our house, and Mum and Dad didn't want to go out and buy any extra ingredients for me to assemble my construction out of food. So I had to build a house at home just out of things that I had at home. So the walls were made out of, I think, wheat bix. The ground outside was made out of green lentils, or like split peas with like a path of red split peas.
Ugh.
And then the whole thing, I decided, because I didn't have anything to adhere it, and I had literally no food knowledge, and no one was helping me with this project, apparently, that I was... Like, I'm literally remembering this now going, wait, that was fucked, but I'm rolling on with the story.
Yep.
And so I decided, apparently under my own steam, to stick this together using ice magic. The only problem was that meant that I had to take this whole fucking monstrosity of lentils and wheat bix and various other ingredients.
Yeah.
I don't remember them, obviously, because it's a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I had to stick that in the fridge, and then we had to refrigerate it until it got to school. And then once it was at school, it had to go into the fridge in the teacher's lounge, which I was never allowed to go into before or after. So I go into the teacher's lounge, which is a foreign land. And then after that, all of us kids are displaying our works of art around one of the rooms in my primary school. And everyone else's is not stuff that deteriorates when exposed to air. So everyone else has these beautiful like macaroni artworks and other things they've constructed.
Oh my
and I
god.
have this slowly wilting wheat bix ice magic house. And I remember all of us had to stand in front of it.
Oh.
And talk about what our project was.
Oh my god.
And I'm standing in front of this collapsing house. I'm literally just having this memory now. This is so that I've blocked out of my memory for many years.
Live on stream, Justin's trauma.
Holy hell! What a
on a
ridiculous
bike.
experience. So it turns out ice magic is fantastic.
So I'm hearing ice magic. That's where we're going.
Ice magic is life now. Let's see what the ice magic world is like.
Fuck, man. Ah. God damn.
Oh, so many elements of that story are just very true to form for me.
Well, what we're hearing, like this stream, like by and large, your contributions to this stream have been recounting both old and new stories of education troublesomes, right? The ways in which the system has failed you somewhat, be that the home system or, you know.
I have always been interested in making work too hard for myself. I think that is the common thread between both stories, because I tried to earnestly, genuinely address the parameters of the assignment rather than just winging it a bit. Mm-hmm. That is true to both stories I've told thus far this evening.
Justin, that...
That's all?
Ooh, okay. Didn't make it past Crystallis. Try again, exit to Shadowlands.
Interesting.
Give it another go.
So Crystallis was the whole space, wasn't it? That's not the name of that dude or whatever.
No, this is the level.
That's the ice magic cavern that we find ourselves in. Yep. Okay.
I was being a little bit free with the pogo, so...
Still got 5 lives. What is the magic number, I wonder, that gives us another life? Is it about 15,000 points?
I don't know.
Because we've gained 3 lives, and we've earned 55,000 points. So yeah, I'll keep watch of the score while we chat about various other things.
I've got a considerable pet peeve about score amounts when they're this large. You will note that the final 2 zeros aren't being used and will never get used, right?
You're saying that you wish that you were just getting 566 points?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be mad about it if it wasn't for pinball machines offering millions of points for no fucking reason. Or at least not a reason that means anything to me, right? I'm not excited by that. I just think that's wasteful, somehow. That says a lot of... So
you've essentially earned 573 point units at this point.
Yeah,
you don't want to learn. Yeah.
It's like, abolish the 1 and 2 cent coins of the video game industry.
Yes. Okay.
Well, no, they have abolished that, I should say. That's what they've done, right?
I get that.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so here is where the game gets onerous, right? And I don't know which levels we need to conquer to... Because clearly what we're meant to be doing is getting these bearded dudes. A fact I did not remember. Oh, hell yeah. Did you see that jump? You'll see that jump. Watch for it. It'll turn up on delay.
Oh, hello. Look at that.
I remembered what you need to do. I don't think you can mantle on these small bricks. I think they're... Yeah. You've got to... Alright.
15,000 is not the metric, because we did not just gain a life.
Aha! Yeah, my pogo
I
stick
will continue to
is
be watchful.
Garbo. Greta Garbo over here. Trash. Alright. That is in no way enjoyable. Let's just tool over here and see what happens. Bullshit. Alright, this level is Oh! Hey!
Oh, so you...
Hey!
Was the gem in that bit?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Neat.
We now have the green key. Gotta find a spot for that. I've seen already, I think, that there is an area where one key... Oh yeah, up in the top left, one key gets you another key. I think that was like blue into yellow. I think...
Okay. There was yellow into red on the left-hand side.
Oh, is that what that was?
That was the one that was on the left-hand side where you did the sick jump.
Aha. Am I thinking of blue from down here then, where I got...
Possibly.
Yes, okay. Okay, so, alright, we need to avoid that dude. There's no reason to run under that big shroom.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's a blue over that side. When you were on that pause menu, it said extra life at 80,000
Oh!
as well.
Huh.
Or it said extra 80,000, which I'm assuming means extra life at 80,000. That would seem to suggest to me that it's not
Oh! Whew. Alright.
Oh, wow. Wrecked.
We're going to lick our wounds. We're going to return to the Shadowlands.
Okay, let's do that.
And we're going to just load our save. We won't lose anything if we do that, will we?
Nothing apart from points and a few bullets.
Yeah, which you could basically farm, right? I mean, I don't think you can walk back out of a level. But it seems like you could farm infinite lives.
I like how when you reloaded the game, it said, "You're in a game."
Oh,
that was fun.
Justin, if that screen turns up on your deathbed, what do you do?
I just wait for the words "game over." I feel like that's the. Do you want to play again? Insert coin to continue.
Yep.
And then I will insert the one coin that I've been keeping on myself from Magic Mountain or whatever.
Oh,
and then
man, Magic Mountain. There's memories.
I'm just trying to draw on every piece of nostalgia this stream.
God. So, being a kid who wasn't raised in a relatively poor household, right? Not as hard off as other people, certainly. Like, I say I was raised poor, but I had friends who had it much worse because of just different fiscal scenarios. Mum was frugal and didn't really have vices, so there weren't other factors there putting pressure on the bank account. It was a stable household, absolutely. Didn't have a lot of money because Centrelink. I remember when it became Centrelink, pre-Centrelink. Didn't hand over a lot of cash. So things like Magic Mountain were absolutely unheard of. Like what a waste. That's a lot of food. That's a lot of bread, right? That's actually bread that could be in the house.
Yeah.
Or meat in the freezer, right? So I went to Magic Mountain, I think only a few times ever. And I don't remember much. I remember there being some kind of pedal-powered sky bike. And you would tool around on, the ceiling of Magic Mountain? Am I remembering this correctly?
That sounds like a thing. My memories are very loose. I think I went there once.
It sounds so unsafe.
Before it ceased to be Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
And then I think at one point I went to the thing that replaced it, which I think is the Splash House, the thing that's still there. The new water rides.
Yeah,
place.
it's just all slides and rides.
And by new, I mean 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. I think I've been to the new version of it because I think my younger brother had his birthday sort of there.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, God, Magic fucking Mountain. Just that whole beach area in general, frankly.
Literally the one thing I remember about it, and the reason that I went to the idea of having a coin, was because we did only go there once, but we had the change compartment in the car growing up, and that change compartment, the change in that compartment literally moved from car to car because we never spent it.
Oh, wow.
And there was a single coin from Magic Mountain that made its way between whatever childhood cars were around.
That's wild.
And so there was always a Magic Mountain coin in there. Yeah, I just remember that being. So I actually remember the Magic Mountain coin having more of an impact on my childhood as a piece of futile currency, a la, I guess, Bitcoin in 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
Fun bucks.
Yeah.
Magical fun money. Oh, I hate these mushrooms so much. All right, I have some ammunition.
Yeah, you have quite a bit of ammunition.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the and now you have slightly less ammunition.
Yeah. Easy mode. Okay, so I need to.
Is that supposed to be the mushroom's tongue hanging out of its mouth?
I believe so. Yes.
Or is it smoking a pipe?
No, Justin, you are correct. It is horny. Too horny, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that mushroom is just,
It's feeling it, and
thirsty.
I don't like that. I mean, it's near a lot of cola, but it can't even grasp the cola that it's passing. This is hell, actually. Justin, we're in hell. We made it.
I'm so glad you've realized. This is the bad place.
Dear oh dear. Alright, am I gonna botch this? Yep! Straight up botched. Alright, cool. Now this rock comes to life. Yep, and kills us. Alright, sweet. Sweet. Let's exit to Shadowlands. Yeah, we still got 5 lives. Who cares?
The Chasm of Chills.
Yeah, so this whole top area is, not pleasing to me. What would you like next, Justin? Would you like this pleasing little villa? Would you like an area on the broad and wondrous desert? So many sights to see. Or would you like one of the many southern pyramids?
And that's a really tough thing. I kind of like the sand castle.
Yeah,
The
let's do
edge
it.
of the pyramids are cool. I do want to visit the Illuminati pyramid before we're done.
We gotta.
We'll probably have enough time to visit all of these, really.
I think we will. Honestly, I'm down for visiting 5, but the truth is,
Oh, I appear to have lost your audio.
No, I just stopped talking.
Oh, okay. Oh no, it's because you died. You didn't make it past San Diego.
No, I didn't. That's right. We'll go straight there now. Without.
You're in a game.
I need to just yell that at people when we start playing Dungeons and Dragons. They need to know. So San Diego opens with like.
Let's set the scene. You're in a game.
This is all a lie. What lie would you like me to tell you next?
You enter a tavern. It's not real.
None of this is real. Do you proceed? Would you like to go home? You don't have to be here anymore. You're an adult. I'm so sorry.
That's the escapism we all want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't see this as a VHS. I'm sorry, I just don't. So it feels like it's a modern device, like of the era. It feels like it's a set-top box, a really rubbish one.
Man, what even were
Can you shoot
set-top?
the rocks?
Yeah, I'm trying to, because they're just gonna do me in, and I don't.
So a set-top box, I believe, allowed you to. Oh god. Didn't it allow you to send the same signals to multiple devices from the same remote or something like that?
I never had one.
I think you could turn on you could plug like a VHS and a PlayStation or whatever into the set-top box, and then you could switch between them using the remote.
Okay.
I think.
So this was the.
I don't remember though. Maybe it was digital stuff. I genuinely do not remember. I just remember it being a thing that we had.
Yeah, they were set-top boxes were something like cars. They were something that happened to other families.
Why have I done this to myself when I can just Google what a set-top box was?
Because we're live. It's TV of a sort. These rocks are actually incredibly cruel enemies. I'm on easy mode and it doesn't matter. If I take one hit, I'm fuckoed. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, I remember this thing. Holy shit. Absolutely no fucks given. What is happening on its
What on
chest?
earth is that?
What is this? What is this
Ah,
rainbow party room pustule window into the cockles of its supernova heart?
Crafty clarifying that a set-top box's primary purpose was to receive digital TV on an analog box.
Oh
So
my
this
god,
is
they come back to
when
life.
What on earth is that?
And there were 2 of them. The stun only works on them temporarily, and there are 2 of them. Whoa, we are not finishing this game ever.
Is that? It's like a Venus flytrap on crab legs,
Yeah.
but also it kind of has like popcorn bursting out of it. I'm so confused.
Yeah, the weird lights on the chest are really strange because it's like, is that meant to be a window inside? Is that like part of its skin?
It looks like it's taken a bite out of itself. That's how teethy it is. It's bitten itself. Yeah. So okay. So that's why we don't hear about set-top boxes anymore. I'm glad we've discovered set-top box information. Set-top boxes were when you had analog TVs and analog was getting switched off.
Yeah.
So you could connect an analog TV to digital TV without having to buy a digital TV. That's that's the era. The Wikipedia page just starts to just break off into broken sentences. So I'm glad that we've been saved from that. The
I
Wikipedia
love it.
page just says, a computer that connects to your television allows you to use telephone line or cable connection. Do you browse the internet and exchange electronic mail on your television?
Incredible.
That's the Wikipedia article.
Amazing.
I like the illusory lipstick town that disappears into thin air.
I think we'll go there next. How would you feel, Justin, about a quick break? Yeah.
I would be down for that. Yeah, let's do that.
It's 7:27, but I'm on island time, baby. Let's do this. So we'll have ourselves a this mouse. Yes, no. Do I need to? Oh, I needed to tab out. Of course I did.
Let's settle in. It sounds like Good Round Boy has their mashed potatoes
together.
So,
hell yeah.
So let's just all enjoy the mental image of that and mashed potato if we have it.
Yeah. Everyone, you have 5 minutes to down your mashed potato. I'm going to leave the music running. Begin.
Time starts now. We're back to stream.
All right. Trying to conjure up internally a good edit point.
Go for it.
We're back. We're back.
We're back. Oh, what a good edit point.
Yeah, I kind of just when it comes to editing the breaks, just snipping out that 5 to 10 minute, depending on how long we faff around, break in the middle of the show. Yeah. I kind of just return when we return because it's fine. Like, it doesn't need the same strong intro, I think, because people are clearly already along for the ride. I'm a bit more lax about it, and maybe that's wrong with me. Maybe I should be trying harder.
No, this needs to be a full-bodied commitment to Commander Keen and the invisible lipstick castle we're about to go into.
Yeah, I had to wait for it to return before I could enter Miragia, as it is known. Oh, this was in the demo. Hell yeah.
Mr. Miragia.
Reference. Thinking back to that film or films, were there multiple? I feel like there might have been multiple.
Yeah, I think there were.
I don't know that I really gave a shit about it. Like, it's this cultural touchstone for a bunch of folk, and that's fine. Like, whatever your flavor. I'm not trying to cast any disparagement uponst, that kid or his karates, but I wasn't as moved as other people. I don't know.
I think I don't think I've actually seen it. I know it for its cultural impact. But it's one of those many films that the only impulse I've ever had to see it is because it already is a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to conceive of it as just like a movie that existed in the world that then had something about it inherently that made people want to see it. I mean, there are lots of quotes that are now like applied, and I guess the general idea of like karate is not just a fighting style, it's a way of life, and it's actually applicable to a lot of teen angst or whatever. Maybe is like I get that as a narrative because I've seen that elsewhere, because that's Star Wars. That's what Star Wars is.
Yeah, basically. Which, I mean, in fairness, karate came first.
Yes. As it's true. I will give them that one.
Oh, that feel when you press up to fire, but then you press up and jump. Oh, these controls. All right, we're just going to try again. We've got all these lives. We're going to burn them. Matters not. I'm collecting points.
I have some hot takes. I don't remember which of the things I said was a hot take, but it's a very hot take.
I'm fascinated by the idea of having difficulty thinking about a film as something that was going to be seen on its own merit and not because it's the Karate Kid. Like, that's... I like that train of thought. I like unpacking that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that is talked about, like with Star Wars as well. Like, I reference that as an analogous, like, cultural thing where there's, like, it's very hard to think about going and seeing... You've just heard that there is this good film that's about, like, space, but it also has romance and fighting and... Like, it's kind of like a Western film, but it's also got all of these other things going. Like, how would you actually... What is the cultural experience of that? Because we just know, oh, there's a new Star Wars film out. We don't have to be pitched on all the constituent parts of what composes a Star Wars film now. We just know that as a package. It's... I mean, it's... I guess what I'm talking about is just, like, in a broader sense, is just genre, right?
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
But for film franchises, it's kind of like a microcosm of that, because it's like you sell the next film or you sell the idea of the film just on knowing what the plot is. Like, I've never grown up in a world where people haven't, even things like the Terminator, right? Like, there are all these films that I've now seen because I know they mean a lot to people older than me.
Yeah.
And have historically meant things to people older than me. And I'm sure that there are films from my childhood that are now that to other people as well.
Thinking about my time on this cursed earth, I've seen a bunch of films, like a handful of films because I had to, but not nearly as many as I feel like culturally get pushed upon people younger than me, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, because I've seen, you know, I guess I don't have a good feel of what the time scale is, right? Because when I think of films that have been pushed upon me because they're must-sees, it's Casablanca, right? Stuff of that ilk, where it's so classic that you must see it, and I see it, and it doesn't land for me because it's too... it's fine. If you've seen the ending scene parodied anywhere, the ending won't land for you anyway if you're anything like me, because... it was like a parody of itself. The entire emotional resonance was shot because I'd seen it before. I knew what they were going to say. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Which was a shame.
And there are films that I actually, you know, that hold up, obviously, from the past. But I guess that it has to be that it holds up even when you know the twist, or even when the idea of it has been done elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I had that feeling watching... I quite liked the film 12 Angry Men, for example, even though I've seen that plot point, that whole detective story of someone kind of methodically working through and having to convince people as the plot of a film. I've seen that done a lot of times since, but just knowing, I guess, that it's the originator of a certain style.
See, I don't know that film. I get your point. I get your point.
I mean, I can pitch it to you essentially without spoiling any of it, which is, so 12 Angry Men comes from, there's a 12-person jury. There is a person that is accused of a crime, and all of them are willing to vote to convict this person, except for one person. And the film is that one guy trying to convince all of the other people to acquit the person on trial. And he's basically, it's just... Most of the film is shot in the one room, and it's this one guy trying to convince different people in different ways as well. So he has to appeal to all of their different sensibilities. Crafty saying she had to watch it in legal studies, only studied it in English apparently. There we go. So it's a film that gets studied. I watched it voluntarily of my own, out of my own free will.
Yeah.
But yeah. Is this a shortcut back to the start of the level, or to a secret passage, or a...
There are a lot of shortcuts in this game, and the reward is more points or more ammo. And I can see why that's the thing, but like what I'm trying to do is get the magic keys that get me bearded dudes, right? That's actually what I'm going for here. So it's actually a little bit annoying when I put in all this time and effort, and it was points. It was always just points.
It also I suppose it's an interesting thing these games do, where it's essentially reinforcing the critical path, right? The path that just leads directly to victory, because you get a certain point in the level, and then which I guess is part of the reason why on the earlier levels of this you can just do it having never played the game in a great deal of time. You get scuba gear?
Of course, for the map.
Cool! I can breathe underwater now.
Forever and ever and ever. Oh, there's a huge fish that is foolish looking, and we leave immediately. I can go back to that level if I want, but what matters is we have the scuba gear. Okay, that's sweet. I did not mean to fucking
Interesting.
no
So that's just
scope.
incomplete.
We're just gonna save right now.
Absolutely, we should. Yeah.
We're gonna call it
But yeah,
swimmingly
Yeah.
because that's how it's going. Sick.
Let's swimmingly indeed. That's how I said I was at the start of the stream.
We've done it.
Intriguing.
We've come full circle. I realized something very interesting while we were on break. So when I looked at the controls, I was so boggled at first because it was talking about which specific keys were for up left and down right and whatnot. And I don't need that and have never needed that. Even when I played the game first, I don't think I did that, because if you hold two keys at the same time, you just go diagonally, right?
Yeah.
But there are specific keys for that if that's what you want. I cannot imagine playing this game with the reflexes required. Like, it seems like way too much effort. Oh, look at that little swim.
It seems. Would you say it seems downright pointless?
I love you dearly. You're
For
a wonderful
an upright
man.
citizen such as yourself.
You want to know why you're forgiven, Justin?
Because I am so handsome.
Because I'm on island time. And which of these islands would you like us to visit? We have a well, we have burning pitch, and we have literally fire.
I think that decision is left up to you.
Ugh.
I do really like the Fire Island.
Alright.
I think the Fire Island is the best.
Alright, done. Justin, people are friends with us on purpose.
Yeah, deliberately.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm gonna have to jump over a bunch of fires.
Keen blazes across the Isle of Fire.
Did it say blazes?
Yes.
He's 8! Oh, I'm dead. Try again.
Well done roasting this 8-year-old.
He is fucking fighting fit for a kid, right?
Crafty saying, I think you're the boss of word jail now. I like the idea that if you do enough puns, you get to be the warden of word jail.
Yeah. God. I mean, I remember positing that, because you know how, we got a 1-up. That's good. That'll help us with our deficit. The lives we've lost. Oh my God, it's a fire elemental. Justin, I don't think I went to this level as a kid. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, what on earth? I mean, that guy is
Can
fantastic.
it die?
I love that animation. But what on earth? So is this the point where the games connect to Doom?
This is the point where the games tell you to go fuck yourself on all the ammo you've collected. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, no shit.
So yeah, there are a lot of invincible enemies, or if they're not invincible, I would like to know how on easy mode they can eat multiple rounds when I've been given over 100 comfortably. Game's weird.
I mean,
game's weird, man.
I don't. This level seems quite hard and a real a real step up in difficulty. On the other hand, this fire sprite is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's
true.
I
love this.
Holy shit! I didn't even have grenade. How am I meant to? Oh, I just figured out how the rocks work. They only...
it's when you...
Yeah. And then you run past them.
It's the don't look back approach to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you've got to pray that while you're far enough away, that's when they try to kill you. Dear God. Very cool, though. Did not realize that. Might have realized it as a kid. There's water. Why is there water down there?
Or to kill the fire elemental, presumably.
Oh my god, you're right. How? What secret passage could possibly lead there? That's too contained, surely.
Unless there's a place down from where you are.
Yeah, I guess.
Chat really doesn't want us to kill him. But maybe we can use it to put out some fire that's in our way, rather than killing the fireman.
Oh, I don't think the game is that cool. Can I... oh, no, I can't. Oh, no, yes, I can. Never mind. The drop down from platform you're on, mainstay, is in fact a mainstay. I was allowed to do that.
Good Ramboy is saying you can't kill our friend. I think we can and possibly will.
I think, you know, the choices you make in Friends should not wholly determine who I am and not allowed to murder. I'm busy. Oh, we did it. Doesn't matter. We're the best.
Oh, it turns out we have friends. Hey, Merlin again. He's back.
What up, you old bitch?
Oh! Thank you so much for rescuing me. I'll return to the Oracle Chamber immediately.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Oh.
Does he have the same dialogue line every single time?
Sure does.
Sounds
Hell
like a
yeah.
plan, bearded one. Hell yeah. Radical.
Justin, that's really good. I hate how good that is.
Thank you.
I despise it deeply on a fundamental level.
Yeah, man.
God. I think it's the breathiness, actually. It's that little bit of asthma.
Fucks my throat. It's not good.
Are we going to continue being good at islands? Oh, we got to save the game. Oh,
Crushed the first one, right?
we crushed
let's
it.
save, let's
but
save.
like we now only have 2 lives, so now we actually have to do save scumming.
Let's do it.
Oh,
We are scum.
we are
Let's do
scum.
it.
You called it.
I'm scum.
Bam. All right.
The great Idols reference for anyone listening that is into that.
Idols. I like them, but I didn't get that reference because I don't know their catalog exhaustively.
Oh, they have a song called Scum.
Great. That sounds like something they would sing.
Where they sing about how they're scum. It's great.
The well or
Let's,
the pitch? Or would
Let's
you
go
like
back to that. Yeah, let's go back to that well. We keep going back to the same well.
The Well of Wishes. Oh my god, it's a swimming level. Oh shit. Justin, we are about to get destroyed. What is this game? There are mines. Movement is very difficult because you're underwater, so it's laggy.
Oh wow.
There's no pogo. There's no jump.
This is very different to the other levels.
Yeah. Also, I believe wholeheartedly that an 8-year-old would be foolish enough to put on scuba gear and then just jump into a well and be rewarded.
There's a demon. It's just a demon under the sea.
Oh, I tried using a gun. No gun.
You're collecting fish though, so that's good. Do we want to try again, or do we want to
We want to save scum. Any progress we make has to be on a save file.
Yeah,
we can
I like
keep.
it. I like it.
This is how it gets you. The inclination to push is there. I think this is why save scumming is possible, but you have to be dedicated to actually break the game. Fascinating.
Let's break it.
Yeah, what the F is this level? Alright, so I can just ignore the other buttons. I just have these movement controls, which, I'm going to be honest with you, are fine, but not...
Yeah, so it's just dodging enemies.
Yeah.
You don't have... You might have to pick up a spear gun at some point.
Yeah,
you also have these little fish with you, which is interesting. They just, like, follow you. You, like, picked up one, and then you picked up another one before.
I'm also constantly sinking, unless I put in effort otherwise.
I mean, that is also true of the ocean.
Yeah, there is, you know,
That tracks, actually.
Well, it depends on your density, man. Okay, I think...
You're wearing a scuba tank on your back, I mean.
Okay, that's fair. Alright, so we need to outrun the devil. which was comically easy. And what are you? Are you? That's an entire life. Okay, so a bottle of water is life.
What?
So that's good.
How is water? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
It
because
makes sense we picked it up on the fire level.
the droplets. The Oh, you mean a bottle of water while we're underwater? Oh my god, I'm going to die. I remember I remember this fish.
Look at this frickin' nerd.
Okay.
What on earth is up with this fish?
We're gonna save scum and try this one more time, and then we're gonna try a different one.
We lost a life and gained a life. So hopefully that means that if we play through it properly, we'll just gain a life, which is great for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that supposed to be a toothfish? Is that the joke?
I think it's a dope fish. I think is its name. So
Begonian toothfish? No.
Games of this sort. No, I don't know fish, Justin. Your joke has failed me.
There's a type of fish called a toothfish. That's the joke. That's it. That's
Okay.
it. That's the joke.
That's the tweet.
That's the tweet. Yeah.
Okay, so if we stay low, sweet chariot.
We can just go under this mine, right?
Well, we can
and
go
then the
under
fish, maybe.
everything. Yeah. Okay. So
Just go under the level.
is the big fish just prowling? Is this the? I do love the little school we've collected. This is very
It's
sweet.
fantastic.
I don't know why we're here, Justin, because
We're here to collect fish, I guess.
some levels were like, oh, you need to pass through this level literally to access the rest of the map, and some levels are like, oh, there's a bearded dude here, but I don't know how many bearded dudes we need to collect. Is it all? Is it some? How many is some? How many is all?
That mine came really close to your face.
That's all right. I went right into it. So
Good. I thought once you collected a certain number of fish, they would make you immune to mines.
well, maybe like one-off immunity, which is to say all of the tiny fish die instead. So functionally, a school of fish is ablative. It's like an outer ring that can absorb exactly one kill shot.
And that's how it should work.
All right. Well, we are scum, and let's keep being scum. While we're here, because it is at the other arse end of the map, let's just go to this, the Isle of Tar. Keen mucks along. What ho? Oh, this is... I've seen tar pits before. This ain't special.
Mucks along the Isle of Tar. Really leaning into their adjectives here. I like that tar animation. It's like bubbling tar. It's not just... Yeah.
So, tell me about computer ownership in your home when you were a kid, because I have my experiences, but it occurs to me that I didn't know enough other people with nerdy uncles building and handing over PCs. I'm not aware what was common.
Yeah, I mean, I also have a nerdy uncle that builds PCs, but I grew up with a Windows 95 computer, had that until high school when I got a much newer Mac, and that was just like most of the stuff I did was on school computers, not really on the home computer. The home computer was like if we had to do something in like Word or something maybe, or a PowerPoint presentation, lots of PowerPoint assignments.
Yeah.
But apart from that like in high school I did assignments where I was using like not Photoshop but analogous image editors and things like that. Like I was starting to really work with some cool tech. I did like database building assignments in wow, that was just absolutely a bullshit trap. Yeah. So but when I was a kid, yeah, it was the Windows 95, and I had Myst, which I did not understand, and I just walked around, and I don't think I solved one puzzle.
Yeah.
I think I maybe found a secret door.
Yeah.
And then I walked away from Myst because I had no context for it. I had no...
That's wild.
I didn't have any idea of how to play it. Yeah. I played a lot of Minesweeper.
Sure.
that was really my gaming experience. And then I picked up Age of Empires. There was a game called Pharaoh, which was like a similar sort of Age of Empires, an Age of Empires like civilization building game.
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of games that aren't dissimilar from this really, but just with better graphics or but very similar ideas of the plot, the same sort of sarcasm, the same sort of you're a kid but you're also saving the world. A few of them were sort of educational. Like in terms of games for kids of a certain age, I feel like there was a long time going into the 2000s where it was just essentially this sort of game, but they just worked on the gameplay and the graphics and they made new versions of it. It wasn't like they chose a new style of theme. They realized kids really liked this kind of irreverent.
Yeah.
This feels really familiar to me in a way that is very strange for a game I've never played.
Yeah, that sort of snarky kid.
Yeah. I mean, the cutscenes, right? The platforming is kind of. I don't think I played a game that was this sort of unforgiving, actually, in terms of like having to, stack up lives and play save files and stuff like that. Or maybe I would have just died a lot.
Yeah.
And not really cared that I didn't get through many levels, because I was also not very competitive in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just a game I was playing by myself, like I wasn't measuring myself up against anyone. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. The answer to the question was just Windows 95. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a home PC, but it wasn't so it wasn't a gaming, this wasn't the games machine. This was the, were you a console household?
When I was, when I went into high school, we got a PlayStation 2. And then I had a bunch of games attached to that. But nothing. I don't think anything. I mean, I played a lot of Need for Speed. Big Need for Speed household.
Yep, we've talked about that before. Yeah. Hot Pursuit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hot Pursuit. Was that the cop one?
There's a couple of them. There's Hot Pursuit, I think, is a bit newer.
Okay, that's the only one I played to any extent, because it's the only one I got.
I had Most Wanted. I had Underground 1 and 2. I had. I've also gone back and played Most Wanted like in the past year, which is fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's really I find it almost meditative now, because it's just so, I don't know, it's such a, yeah. Oh, Crafty mentioning the game inside Encarta.
Oh, hell yeah.
The like maze game with the knights and stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Did not
times.
actually look much up in Encarta. Just like looked at the first entry, went, cool. AA Milne once again. Now let's go through the maze with the knights and try and play through that.
Let's party. Yeah.
I love that it just opened to the first entry every time, thinking back on it.
I don't remember that at all. That's fascinating. Like, I vaguely recall there being a cool game in it, but like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by other people's experiences with the home PC, like what that meant for a household, depending on the slice of time.
A lot of what I did as well was like I would write stories in Word, and I did a lot of when clip art was a big thing in Word. It wasn't just now you just insert an image, but it used to be that the image you inserted was actually just a group that had been created in Microsoft Word, like a group of images, and you could right click on a clip art image and ungroup it. So you would have its constituent parts. So you could take like a stick figure of a man, and then you could just like move the arms or copy and paste it so you had multiple arms and things like that. And I loved doing like weird art stuff with just like that clip art, like really basic technology.
Wow.
I did a lot of like that sort of nonsense. I mean, yeah, those are like my really earliest computer memories, and writing stories, just writing like a huge amount. I was big into reading, big into writing.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked to hear.
Astounded, Justin. Did you ever do like choose your own adventure stuff with like notepad files? Like if if you do X, open file Y.
I didn't. I did that with folders. I did that just as like branching paths and things like that. But I never did anything as complicated. Yeah. I did at one point plan a choose your own adventure game. I actually made a choose your own adventure with PowerPoint and hyperlinking to different slides. Because you can make it so that if you clicked on an image in one slide, it would take you to a certain slide, and if you clicked on another image, it would take you to a different slide. So that you could actually create, choose your own adventures in PowerPoint. I did that a bit. Yeah, it's really interesting the way that, I mean, I've talked a bunch in the past about how, RIP obviously for not making it through Life Water Oasis, but. Yeah, I've talked a lot about how like constraints are really interesting for writing and for like creating new stuff. And yeah, I definitely, as a kid, it's not like I didn't have a bunch of games, but I really wanted to make stuff, and I really had very few tools that you could use to make stuff.
Yeah.
And now there are all these tools at my disposal, and I still choose to do a lot of like, I still edit images in GIMP, GNU image manipulation program.
Yeah.
And I still, Good Round Boy saying this nostalgia chat is getting to me, and I've discovered I can play Jill of the Jungle in browser.
Oh,
amazing! That's a good pull.
Crying out, Glaven. That's fine. I'm just trying to like check out these levels now. Just demonstrate like what the fuck the options.
Look at those turrets. Yeah.
Wild. Absolutely.
Yeah, I found
wild.
out. I've mentioned this on a previous stream, but you can play Logical Journey of the Zombinis, I think, in browser as well. Which is another game.
It's clearly like not a 2020 thing. It's clearly a 2021 thing. But at some point, flash drive is a real show.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way of doing it in a browser that will maintain its support for Flash.
Yeah, so it has to maintain its support for Flash, and it needs to be not too much of a RAM hog. So, and that's fine because Chrome is a downvote on both of those axes. So,
I imagine what will happen as well after Flash gets deactivated, in most browsers, there will probably be a lot of Flash games that then become like downloadable because people will just decide, I don't want to have this just up on a website where no one can actually access it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's possible that some of those games will actually become more available to us for streaming purposes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Yeah, it's also possible that this may just be a technological effort that requires us to put a lot more effort into than it's worth. But I really do like the idea of going back to a lot of those nostalgic games, because that's the other way that I did play games as a kid, really, was like this is when I was like in high school and stuff, but once I actually had a computer that could play, that could access the internet.
Yeah.
And once Flash games didn't have to just sit and render for ages and ages before you could actually play them on the internet, that became a big part of how I approached games and stuff like that. I've always been a very casual gamer, I think.
I've never I've never been what could be considered a hardcore gamer, and I can say that with certainty because I grew up with people who became pretty solid gamery types, and I just wasn't like, I did this shit at home, but I didn't stick with it and didn't have a console and all the other sort of markers of the time. But the whole Flash game thing, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think it would be a fascinating show, is it completely passed me by. Like, it wasn't something that happened to me. We watched Flash videos. Like, we would go to Newgrounds, and we would load up whatever we wanted to watch on Newgrounds. And that would be loading for a while, so we'd go and we'd grab our VHS loaned copy of some episodes of Star Trek Voyager, and we'd watch that. And then we'd, go back to the computer room and watch some fucking Newgrounds. Like, childhood's weird, man.
I mean, Newgrounds is very much where I played a lot of these Flash games as well. But at that point, it was Flash games that you would also take a bit of time to render, but then you could just you could actually play through them a little bit. And yeah, I really liked that. Like that the young internet approach to creation, I think, is something that we don't really. It's something that it's ironic to talk about Newgrounds, which was in itself a community that was based around a single website, in the context of the internet being a free kind of place where people can create lots of different ideas, and yet to talk about like Facebook and stuff as limiting creation, even though, you know, in principle it's the same sort of thing. But I guess in terms of like policies and things like that, maybe there's arguments that they're a bit different in that respect. But it feels a bit young internet, where people were just kind of realizing this is a space that is, you know, it's not super regulated. It's not that there are very few that the limitations are different in terms of what you can put out there. There's less financial investment to actually create a piece of media and distribute it. And so it really is just like a world opening up of people creating animation and games and things like that. And now, because it's become so explosive, it's much harder to find like places where people are doing new individual stuff, because a lot of places are like distributing established content again.
Yeah,
they're it's like pirated versions of the same games, or it's people making different versions of the same idea. I don't know, maybe I'm just being nostalgic for something that is not necessarily a thing that exists, but I don't know. I have this feeling about my childhood and on the internet.
No, I feel you completely. It's yeah, I can't, and so I try too hard not to imagine what it must be like now, to grow up in today's internet age. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's perhaps a good idea for me to not even try imagining it, but like, I don't want to put myself in a position where I, you know, put my thumb on my chin for half an hour, go and then I'm like, oh, I've cracked it. Now I know exactly what the kids are going through. Like, it's going to be unique and novel.
Yeah, I don't know that either of us can speak to it, because we haven't, you know, grown up in an era that we're expressly talking about as an era we haven't grown up in.
Yeah.
But I think I do think it speaks to the success of, like, there always being a new social media platform at the moment, because the idea is that as a platform is new, it is this space where nobody has figured out what the algorithm wants, or what other people want from the platform, or what the platform can even do.
Yeah.
And even if that platform is actually worse than previous platforms in certain respects, or it you know, it just works very strangely, and it's very hard to create things. The fact of that constraint and people figuring out that constraints is where the creativity thrives. And so you have the idea of a thing that is successful on TikTok versus a thing that's successful on Snapchat, or a thing that's successful on Instagram, or a thing that's successful across different platforms that pop up. A thing that's successful as like a streaming trend on Twitch, or a YouTube trend within Fortnite or something like that. It's about finding the new big thing and pushing the limits of that space. And I think that's also part of like gaming streaming culture as well. It's finding the limitations of the game rather than finding the limitations of the platform. But it's still about, I don't know, I have thoughts. Oh, we've switched screens.
Yes. We've got 20 minutes left, so I thought I'd jump to the other game, because I've tried all the levels and I'm not very good at them, and it's an experience playing this. You're
not feeling it?
It's good, but like, it's actually not. I don't think it's a good stream game for me.
Interesting.
Mentally.
I mean, it's possible that because I'm going off on I'm going off on tangents, that is not creating the stream experience you want.
Oh,
But
no.
also,
Like,
it doesn't have a great deal of narrative once you're playing it.
Yeah. So
Like,
it's...
the thing I think we're getting out of it is the scenes where there's dialogue and we can read it out, and there's scrolling text and stuff.
Yeah, the parts that are good about this have less to do with the game itself and more to do with what we can derive from it. I'm just not convinced. So I've been playing Subnautica recently. I obtained it.
Okay.
I had a sick day. I had a little, not a full COVID scare. I just I had some of my usual symptoms plus some hay fever stuff, and I was like, well, due diligence, better go get a test. And so I had a day or two where I was like, well, I'm just gonna chill. I've had to get tested for COVID. I'm just gonna fucking put my feet up a bit. And I got myself Subnautica as a way to kind of relax. And I'm glad it's a game that I'm not trying to stream. I'm glad it's a game where I can just potter about and do what I want. And maybe it's the... Oh, let me just mute the volume down on this. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we have to do with each of these. That was what we had last week as well. Cool.
Oh, that's...
I'm going to turn down my volume as well.
No. I'm doing it on the individual program. I just...
No worries.
Goosed it all.
Just let me know if you need me to adjust anything on
my
end.
you're fine. You're Gucci. Yeah, so there are games where it is possible to enter into an interesting meditative state. And if I was streaming such a game solo, it would be fine because I would just not talk as much, right? I would just sort of sit back and I can...
Should I be reading this text?
Oh, yeah, give it a go.
Episode 5, The Armageddon Machine. After learning the location of the secret Shikadi base, Keen jumped in the trusty Bean with Bacon mega rocket and blasted across interstellar space. 75 furious games of paddle war later, Keen dropped out of light speed near the Karath system. He flew toward the planet, keeping it between him and the base. Pulling up underside and docking at the ion ventilation system, Keen must destroy the Shikadi Armageddon machine before it explodes and destroys the Milky Way. He steps into the dark ventilation duct and begins his most dangerous adventure yet.
I don't think I've ever played this one. I might have seen demo screens, but I don't think I ever actually had the shareware version of this.
I don't know how that ship would actually maintain an orbit.
Well, neither does that ship, so I guess you guys can hang out. I should have changed the... Yeah, this is thoroughly unfamiliar. This is amazing.
Ian purposefully wonders about the Omega-matic. Oh, so we're supposed to be in the vents, right?
Yeah, that appears to be the... It's like, it harkens back to the second game when we were inside the ship.
Yes, that was good. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know what kind of groove you're in terms of playing it, because I haven't, obviously the issue with doing it over Discord and at a distance is that you're the only one that gets to play the game, so I don't quite get the tactile sense of it.
Yeah.
You're in a game.
Indeed.
But yeah, I can understand that it may be a difficult thing to talk and play because it does require a lot of concentration.
Yeah, there are games where I'm going to be better at streaming and playing, and also I'm just sometimes my brain is a little bit wrung out. So I actually had a really good thesis week last week. I had
I'm glad to hear it.
A great run of days where I had good ideas, and they actually sort of... It was one of those moments I really enjoy in the thesis process where I'm pottering about with stuff and something comes to me and I figure out some new shit, right? I'm like, oh, I can actually talk about this in this way, and that actually ties that chapter together really well, and now, it's not that things didn't hang together before, but it strengthens things or makes a chapter sort of clearer, or sort of focuses me up, which is something I need quite often I need to be reminded what I'm actually doing, what specific argument I'm doing all this research and writing for, because left to my own devices, I would just research and write everything. I would just sort of keep expanding out and keep discovering the history of this and the thought patterns of this. And what if you pit this theorist against this theorist? What does that do? How cool does that feel? The answer is very cool, but does it matter to what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the thing I need most, is that tug on the leash. And I had a sort of self-leash moment. I'm like, oh, I can base this part of this chapter around this, and that actually just makes everything sing.
That's really cool. It's interesting that you describe that tension, because I would have thought that the goal of the project is to develop a very broad base of knowledge and then to focus in. But I guess at the stage you're at in the project, you've already developed that broad base of knowledge, and now you're trying to, as you say, draw it together, reach some finer points and make it sing. And at a later point, you will be able to look into whatever you want to your heart's desire.
Yeah. So one of the things that constrains my project, first of all, the reason I'm bringing up the fact that I had a great thesis week is it meant that I used my brain a lot, and I try to use my brain a lot over the course of the week anyway. But I was just very exhausted over the course of the weekend. And I started today pretty well, actually. As much as I don't like this weather, I think my brain possibly runs a bit better when it's slightly warm, which is annoying. I don't actually want that to be true, but there you go. But yeah, I'm blaming this on why I'm today just a little bit, like, I'm finding myself at the bottom of the tank at the end of this stream here. And that's fine. Like, that's whatever.
But it's actually because you've had a productive time. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And that's there are worse things.
There are worse fates. But the reason sorry, I've said the reason why all this, but then the other thing was, yes, so the constraints. I am doing a creative writing PhD. And so I can faff about the history of science fiction all I want in my planning and in my building an understanding of the topic, because by the end of it, you have to be an expert in the things that you're talking about. It's sort of a requirement of the PhD. It's the assumption that at the end you will be the, if not the world expert, then certainly a strong expert in the thing you're fucking talking about. I've also written a goddamn novel about some very specific things. And my thesis should be about that. That's the thing I should be writing about.
Yeah. I guess there's the question of the, man, that one loop that you keep going on there seems impossible. It just seems really, really frustrating. I guess there's the tension there between what you actually have to do to write the thesis that is your PhD. Like that is the basis of your PhD, and there is the knowledge that, what on earth? There's a galaxy that exploded. Oh, because the game ended. Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, that checks out entirely. We fucking lost.
At the end of every stream.
I don't want to get DMCA'd, man. I would that I could. Would that I goddamn could.
All I was going to say was, I guess there's a tension there between the knowledge that you actually have to acquire to write the thesis that is the basis of your PhD, and the knowledge that one may expect you to have in a much broader way coming out of a PhD, like just subject matter expert in kind of a much broader range of knowledge than maybe the very specific thing you've worked on. Would that be a correct assessment?
Yeah, I'd say so. I struggle with this a lot because I just have I have the very common imposter syndrome problem that many folk like me have had in this position, because I don't feel as knowledgeable as it is assumed that I should be. But that's fine. That's whatever.
So part of it is the acquisition of knowledge so that you can, feel that sense of where you should be in terms of, like, if you can't think of what you should be writing right now, then why not accumulate more knowledge so that at the very least you're making progress towards the field of knowledge you should have? Is that kind of the
it's a lot of it is me wanting to make sure that I have mastery of something before I talk about it, which is not necessarily always the case, because certainly one of the errors that I made was trying to talk about too many things. There are too many intersections of bodies of knowledge in my thesis for something that is a creative work, I think, for all the claims that I'm trying to make. So I end up with this problem where I'm trying to gain mastery over an area so that I can talk about it with authority, when it's possible that a more prudent approach, given the scope of this project, would be to take the most recent theorists and just be like, they're right. They've published a work that came out in the last few years and has a good amount of references, and I'm just going to lean on them for this one section, for this one part, and then call the rest of it sort of... presume that pillar is enough, right? Instead of going, why don't I discover the entire background of this field of thought? It's tough. Right.
So you're almost doing like a literature review of every section.
This is kind of... Yeah, and I don't know that I needed to do that. I don't know that that was smart. I don't know if I should have done... Well, I think I should have done it in a different order, but I think if I'd done it in that different order, I would then be lamenting that order also, right? Because no matter
you
what...
might not have been satisfied to have only done that portion of it and have taken that recent expert or... Yeah.
Yeah. This is the issue.
Yeah.
So I've recently sort of tried to gain mastery over golems, over the history of the golem, and where I've come up short is in a few areas. One of them is that I'm not well versed in Judaism, so I've had to do a lot of extra, just trying to understand, where it sits in things, because it can mention, it's, the golem is referenced here and here, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And I don't have a good feel for that yet. And I've got a lot of good opinions on the golem, but then how far do you go, right? Like if one text built its knowledge base by referencing a few other big scholars, if every text does that, you could go down forever. It's scholars all the way down. At some point, you have to stop and go, well, this person referenced this other person, but that other person, I don't need to read them. I've decided, no, we're fine, or I've done enough sort of preliminary looking that it's like, well, I can actually give them a miss, and I can just reference the person who referenced this other person, because they're the one with the text that mattered. I've come this far, and that's fine. And there's no hard and fast rule of when you should draw that line. My preference is to just keep pushing, and that's a problem because I have finite time and resources and energy, so...
It's interesting how refreshing it is to play a game like this that presumes everything and looks into nothing in the middle of that sort of process, right? This game is absolutely the opposite of the process that you just described. It is just what kids like, and we're going to tell kids that they like this. Yeah. Because it's the stuff we think kids like, and we're just gonna throw it at them. And it's that whole, like, we can take kids like soft drinks, so we're just gonna put soft drinks in the game as the collectibles. And like, what's a monster? I guess it can be fire, and also like lizards. And what are things that are just scary? Like it's so I guess like essential and elemental. It's not. It's the opposite of the level of thought that you put into other projects. So it's really interesting. I guess that is maybe part of why it clashes with your general approach to projects. Because it is not a game that has been thought out in a lot of ways. Well, it's just, let's do the thing.
I also can't unpack this game because I'm too close. Like, even at this age, looking back on it, all the other platforms we've played, we have been kind to them when they've been, when they've been solid, and a lot of them have been incredibly solid. But then also at other times, we've just fucking kicked them to pieces because we're engaging in criticism, which is not necessarily saying the thing is bad. It is saying we have comments, and we're also trying to be funny online, which means sometimes we're just kind of dickheads. And sure, that's fine. But
I thankfully, I think a game this old, I don't think the makers of Commander Keen are going to go, we should take these guys' criticism on board. When we make our next project.
I mean, the game's coming back
20 years ago.
They're doing somebody is doing some kind of Commander Keen in the future, but it will clearly just be riffing on this, right? Like it's nostalgia, the soft drink. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the nuts and bolts of what this game is. It just has to evoke it.
I think in terms of what we can take away from it is that this is just a very functional game. It does what it does. like I think the things that are interesting to me are the ephemera, right? They
Mm.
are the
Mm.
yeah, that they are the collectible soft drinks. They are the sprites and the different components of the levels. And
Sprites.
it's kind of yeah. I mean, maybe it would be interesting. Um, yeah, if we had just gone into one room and we had like just looked at every enemy and deconstructed that enemy for
Yeah.
20 minutes,
Oh,
it wouldn't really be a game playthrough. We could also just do that on Wikipedia is the problem.
those that weird Venus flytrap crab leg thing that was just a giant green ball. Like they didn't even try to consider what would be an interesting body. They're like, well, it's got to be big, so we just need this big round base, and then these crawly little legs, and then snappy heads, and then oh, I don't know, fluorescent popcorn going absolutely buck-ass wild on the chest. Why? Like, what was any of that meant to be?
Really is. It's based around it's just like very. This is the function we have, which is we have a thing that moves at roughly this speed, and it attacks you from these different angles, and let's just make like something that fills that space. Like it's such a weird.
So you think it's like approaching it from an engineering problem. Like it's not about
Yeah.
it's bottom up design. No, sorry, it's top down design. Wait.
I think that's it. That's the. Hang on. Yeah. I don't actually remember. I think it's bottom up, where you start from the things that you have, and then.
Yeah, bottom up is like it's mechanic, like the mechanical stuff that you want to do, and then you dress art over the top of that. Whereas top down design is I have all these big artistic ideas, and then you try and push them on top of mechanics. Yeah.
Well, I think that is interesting because a lot of the games we've played have either been the form is the function is the form. The Fez, for example, the entire concept of the narrative of the game is the function that they are, talking about. That the idea of playing with 3 dimensions and moving about that world, like the structure of the game, that is also, I think, bottom up design, but it is the top layer is actually reflecting on the bottom layer, whereas
that's good design, right?
Deeply unreflective game. Yeah. It's interesting. It makes it kind of difficult to discuss in the way we've discussed previous games, I guess. I think that's maybe the thing we're butting up against here, is that it is very different in that respect. And also because, you have feelings attached to it, and it's hard to, just absolutely shit on things you have feelings about at certain points. But also, I mean, we've had some good times. We've made some good puns. We've
oh no, it's been a blast.
We collected some fish. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed the company of our chat.
I will say that an element of the game that you haven't been able to experience, which is a shame, is literally how it controls, because the velocity, the change in movement controls when you've got that pogo stick out, and the fact that holding down jump at the right moment while on the pogo stick, while you're coming down to bounce off of the ground, makes you jump higher and further. Like, there is a strange sort of... It's like power sliding, almost, in a sort of platformy kind of way, if that makes sense. Like, you've got to factor in drift.
I mean, that's one of the things that is really different between games, and that you do have to really adapt to. It was one of the big criticisms of the recent Crash Bandicoot remaster.
Oh, really?
Was basically the way there used to be there's the idea of, if you imagine that the edge of a platform can either be like angular, or it can be like curved, like the edge of a bar of soap. And so there are certain points, if it's curved, where you like start to slip off it, but you still can get purchase if you jump at a certain point. And so you might have to jump a couple of times to get back onto the top of the platform. Whereas in if you make it a different way, you can just make it so that either you land on the platform or you don't land on the platform, right?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, there's no bending there. And so it's really interesting that gameplay style, which really doesn't affect the majority of players playing the newer version of the game versus the older version of the game, really, really affected people that had been doing like really diehard playthroughs, people that had been speed running the game.
Yeah, wow.
It just completely changed people's perspective on it, and it's such a minor thing of the control scheme. But all of those slight slides and drifts, and whether you can change direction in midair where you're jumping and things like that,
Yeah,
like those are
yeah.
huge gameplay decisions. Whether, as you say, pressing down is drop down, or whether pressing whether pressing up is jump or look up or fire up. You know, those have real impacts on gameplay, and they can be very personal as well.
Yeah, it's I feel like we keep floating up against the edges of a field of study of an existing field of study. There are people who, you know, play platformers and have deep thoughts about them clearly and deconstruct them, and we just aren't those people. But we keep sort of butting up against, you know, what I think are the most obvious points in that field, which is interesting to me. But I don't have what it takes to be really good at platformers, so I'm not going to go any further.
Oh, sure. I just I guess, you know, I take these streams to be a reflection of the thoughts that I have, and a lot of the thoughts I have are based on watching those people that are better at talking about this stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
One of the videos I watched recently was the Movies with Mikey talking about the development of Mario.
Oh, I need to watch that.
It's really good. And one of the things that they mention, and this isn't a spoiler for anything, but it's the idea that the designer of the game really didn't want there to be a designated jump button, because that's like design space, right? You can use that. You can use every button if you can apply it to multiple purposes, gives you more room for design. But other designers on the game managed to convince him, and it turns out that even if you're an auteur and you have your specific vision, it's really important that, like, if jumping is the center of your game, having a designated jump button just changes so much about the play experience, because you just, you know, can you imagine what Mario would be like if the jump button also did other stuff at any point in the game? It would just be a very different game, especially in those earlier games, to just not have A for jump.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you had up as jump rather than A for jump, which is what the conflict was about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
is it's moving left and right on the left hand and jumping with A on the right hand. Like, Mario would be a very different game if you had to move left and right and then also up on the same hand with the same thumb or
I've
finger.
played games with that sort of thing, and it's not as, I don't love it. It's not my favorite.
It's one of the biggest design decisions in gaming. Like, you now have most modern controllers are built to have an analog stick on your left hand where you move around and you have jump mapped to A or mapped to a button now, but it's still all based around that design. If you're doing one thing with one hand, one thing with the other, it's really fascinating. So the control schemes are a very deep world that I'm very interested in, but as you say, I am far from an expert in the area.
Well, No Man's Sky is a great example of this because it has vehicles, and the vehicles are absolute hot trash. And one of the reasons they're trash is it doesn't have an accelerator. You push forward to run like you're running with a human body, but you're driving a fucking car or a mech or whatever. I think it was like, at any rate, it was not what I expected. It was not what I wanted it to be, which was you press accelerate and then you steer. That was not the option. And I did not like that at all. No Man's Sky had a lot of really good stuff, and I had a great time. But it had some weird things. But it's one of those weird modern gaming realms where the game continues to be unfinished. It can be as unfinished as it wants, because all they need to do is keep releasing big content updates and people will keep playing it and returning to it. So anything you don't like, if you let the creators know and enough other people also don't like it, maybe it goes away or it changes. Like, that's wild that you can just keep asking that of a work, and that they will dedicate. I mean, they are putting in time and money into this project to keep it sort of eternal. I don't know that it will be eternal, but yeah, it's very interesting. All right, well, we've had big long talks. It's past 8:30.
We have, yes, absolutely. I will let you sleep and exist as a person tomorrow. But this has been very fun. People should subscribe to this and support you and give you cash money, as a part of if you have Amazon Prime or if you're a Twitch person with things. Those are all the things, right?
Yeah, I think it's called Prime Gaming now.
Okay.
Prime Gaming
Fun.
is the the subscription thing. So I'm guessing it's more obvious then that it's also in Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why the nomenclature changed and where it changed and what it does, because I don't have it myself. So yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, you're more than welcome to come by. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow, all of those. Tick those boxes if you could. Justin is also doing a lot of great works. Radio Lockdown, his podcast, new season has just begun because we had some lockdown in Adelaide. Apparently, that's all it takes. And
We were summoned.
Neptune 2, the 2021 emergent being requires words. It's hungry. It is hungry for text.
It is. It is Neptune 2020. We've been talking a lot about reflection, about retrospection, and we are looking back with 2020 vision on the year that was. So yeah, we're looking for pitches. We're looking for writers. I say this, a good 50% of our chat at the moment have submitted pitches to the magazine already.
Yeah.
So I am preaching to the choir as is, but I am absolutely looking for people to pitch stuff, and people that know people to tell them to pitch stuff. We're casting a very broad net. Previously, we've talked very, it's been scientific experts or people that have particular expert in subject areas. Now we're really looking for expertise through experience, people that have had unique experiences of this year, and then connecting that to science stories, which is an interesting approach that I would talk about on another stream because we're running a little late.
Yes, I'm keen to hear more. On the topic of streams in the future, so I'm going to, starting next week, have a bit of a schedule shake-up. So we won't be streaming next Monday night, one presumes, because I have stuff on Monday, and I don't know what that's going to be like. But so there's going to be a hiatus and maybe a schedule change. As usual, hit up the socials. I'll post on Facebook, I'll post on Twitter. I'll let people know when I know what changes we're going to be initiating. And that will also include what games me and Justin might be playing. Maybe I'll do some solo streams. Maybe I'll just drag Justin in last minute. Who can say? But if you just,
The best way to catch that is to follow this channel on Twitch and
that's true.
Turn the notifications on and get emails and things. It's a good way of knowing when it's going live if the schedule is changing.
It's true.
I've swung it back into promo.
Yep. No, I love it.
Seamless. Professional.
All right, everyone.
One might say.
Thank you very much for joining us on this incredibly strange nostalgic journey. It was really weird to go back and play those games. And in some moments, just sort of autopilot, because I had the family computer in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Later on, I also then just had my own computer, but I would just play this game a lot, apparently. And so maybe this is one of the reasons why I found it a bit hard to talk this session, because I was just playing Commander Keen again. I was just back doing the thing.
That is absolutely a wonderful experience. I'm glad you've had it, and I hope you continue to have it off stream. Just keep playing well into the night.
I won't be doing that, but I appreciate the thought. It's very pleasing.
Mentally. Just reliving it.
No. I want to grow up, Justin. I have things to do. I've got to pay rent. All right, everybody. Sleep well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. If you're in any of the areas where you should be, washing your hands and wearing a mask, wash your hands. Wear a mask. Stay away from other people, other humans.
In every area, you should be washing your hands.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Stay safe, everyone.
Fucking soap dad here.
Fantastic.
Fucking flawless.
Farewell from me, soap dad.
Your soap father wishes you a good night. All right. Night, everyone.